If you had not interrupted me, you would have heard my next statement, which is that you should also love your neighbour as you love yourself, and that you should love your enemies, and that you should love your mother and father. Okay, have you got any problem with this so far? No problem. No one ever does. And this is the amazing thing about Christ's teaching, is when you really look at what Christ taught, no one has a problem with it. Okay, and how do we express that? We express that individually towards God and outwardly towards other people and towards our brothers and sisters, and collectively we do the same. We express it towards God and then we express it outwardly towards other people. And the fruit of that has been self-evident in those countries that have been influenced by the Christian faith. They have become the envy of the world. The world goes to them.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, the evidence would seem... Well, when the Syrian refugees had a choice between fleeing to Muslim countries or fleeing to Christian countries, they chose Christian countries, not Muslim
That's different
ones.
from being the envy of the world.
Do you know why? Because there's no refugees in Islam, as I understand. There's no status for it.
What you just said about being the envy, Christian countries being the envy of the world, what you're just saying that they have no link to each other.
Well, I would say that, I mean, it's a complicated argument.
Why are they not going to the Islamic countries?
I mean, I don't know because I'm not in their situation, but
Brother,
saying that these countries are the envy...
underlying narrative, you are convinced, I can tell, to your heart and soul, that all religions are the same.
Not I'd say their foundations, I'd say.
And where is your evidence?
Through the mass of people that follow the religions and through the love and through the connection that they can
Have you ever spoken to a Coptic Christian?
I don't know.
Have you ever spoken to a Pakistani Christian? Have you ever spoken to a Syrian Christian? So you've never actually checked if the experience of religious minorities in Muslim-dominated countries is one of love and embracement, have you? You've never checked that.
That's because they're under oppression.
And who's oppressing them?
Well, even if it is in those countries, a Muslim state, look at Nigeria. That's a majority Christian.
It's a secular state. It's a secular state. And it's also a secular state. It's also a secular state. It's not a Christian state. Its constitution is secular. Because Christianity allows for secular constitutions. In our paradigm, the state and the church should be separate because the necessities of running a state changes over time. And if you codify it in a stricture of law, that law will date and become no good. I am telling you that you have been fed a lie and are believing a lie because you want to hope the best of all people, and that's a worthy sentiment. I'm not attacking the sentiment. I've made friends who are Muslims. I've dated Muslims. I've loved Muslims. Yeah? Right? I'm not anti-Muslim.
I didn't get
Yeah?
the vibe. Yeah.
I'm not anti-Muslim. What I'm against is the teachings of the religion.
So how would you change it?
How would I change it? By offering something better, which is the Christian faith.
That in a way creates more of a clash than unity.
Exactly. So your priority is not any investigation of what is true. Your priority is simply to embrace that which unites the most people. And that is the problem with the liberal political narrative, is because it suppresses truth for a political end.
So with that truth,
It makes truth serve politics.
With that truth and with what we want to do with our actions, can it not it complements each other? Like with the truth that you're saying, what can we do but act more loving and try to unite people more?
So when
What other answer is there? apart
So
from
when
what has been happening?
the caliphate comes along and they want to turn me into a dhimmi, what should I do? Yeah, exactly. You don't know.
What's a dhimmi?
Here you are. You're arguing a premise, and this premise is rooted in a lie, my friend. Peter, you've been lied
What's a
to.
dhimmi?
A dhimmi is a protected citizen in an Islamic state. But what that really means is we're protected but from the state itself, who will take away our lives, property and families if we don't pay the jizya tax, if we don't accept humiliation and oppression. And we have, and this is the point, because you ask any Muslim, they'll say, oh no, caliphate was wonderful, caliphate was wonderful. But you go and look into church history. You go and look at how Christians experienced caliphate. It was anything but lovely. Nothing like lovely. It was horrendous. When the Muslims came into Eastern Europe, they used to raid Christian villages and kidnap Christian children, and then forcibly convert them to Islam, form them into a group called the Janissaries, and then send them back to kill their own mothers and
How would
fathers.
you convert these Islam?
Is that lovely?
No, but how would you convert these Muslims that you're saying? If you want to create change, how would you do it without force?
Well, what I'm doing right here, I'm not forcing anyone. No one is forced to listen to me. Anyone can walk away at any time. I simply offer a better alternative to you than the political lie you've been fed, and to every Muslim that can hear my voice, and to any atheist that can hear my voice. Because Christ truly is the best alternative. But standing in the truth is more important than unity. Standing in the truth is more important than social cohesion. You've been fed a lie because you've been indoctrinated. The state has indoctrinated you. Public education, media influence, rap songs, all the rest of it. They've influenced you and formed your mind to believe a false narrative. And that false narrative is that every religion is the same, so therefore they can all be as good as bad as one another, so it's not really important, so everyone just get along. Go out and buy things, go out and shop, because really that's what's important, is what you own and what career you have. Not truth, not moral systems, not an ethical code. You've been lied to.
And then die for sinners who had broken that law.
What I can say is that I still find it depends on what you look for in these religions. I can honestly say it depends on what you look for.
Yeah.
So, like, there is morals to be learned from all religions. There are good morals to be learned from
I'm not
all
denying
religions.
that. Not denying that there's good things in all religions.
So,
I'm just saying that just because there are good things in all religions doesn't make all religions good. You see, that doesn't follow. Just because other religions may agree with the Christian faith about certain points, like not killing your children, doesn't mean that everything else they teach is also good. Because Islam teaches a lot of things that I can recognize as being good. Humility, self-discipline, standing up for your community. All of these things we have in the Christian faith. Prayer, giving to charity. All of these things we have in the Christian faith. I don't need Islam for that. Christianity teaches it. But here's what Christianity teaches that Islam doesn't. It says to slaves that if you can, get your freedom. Nothing like that in Islam. It says that the moment you become a Christian, that the thing that should mark your life is love. You don't find that in Islam. In Islam, it's about this perfect system of laws called Sharia that will miraculously solve all our problems, even though Muslims can't make it work in their own countries and that there is no Islamic state anywhere in the world. So the whole project of Muhammad has failed already, but the Christian project is still going strong. The pursuit of justice, the pursuit of love, the pursuit of virtue. Do you know why? Because they're not socio-politically contingent things. They're fundamental metaphysical truths that we find in the nature around us and within ourselves. So we cultivate virtue that makes the better man, and that better man will then make a better society. All Islam is another form of communism. It's a political ideology that people have put their faith in, thinking that it will work, when all the evidence proves that it doesn't work. Because where is the caliphate? Where is the communist utopia? Doesn't exist. You know? But here's what Christ says. He says love. And then love a bit more. And then love until it hurts. And then love some more. Now I am yet to meet the person that has a problem with that. But I have a problem with a system of laws that would make me into a second-class citizen. I have a problem that would justify the reintroduction of slavery. I have a problem with a system of laws that would do things like kill people for changing their religion. I have a problem with that. Do you have a problem with killing people for changing their religion? So you got a problem with Islam. Do you have a problem with saying that it's okay to have slaves?
I'd rather not answer your loaded questions.
Of course they're loaded questions, but our society has been indoctrinated not to ask the important questions because truth isn't important.
I'll leave it here, but thank you.
All right.